Time and time again, we have made history. Today again, with all of you, we shall rewrite history and make history together. I give you AEW Games. We have assembled a very creative team, a team that I would like to say is the best at what they do. I want to give the fans the wrestling games that they want. I want to give the wrestling fans the game that they deserve. I want a game to be fun. I want a game to be easy to pick up, but difficult to master.
And we've kind of made a lot of promises. We really want this game to be not only fun, we want this game to last for a long time. We want to make this game legendary. And to do that, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of thinking outside of the box. And as you know, sometimes when games are rushed, they become almost unplayable. And then they become a meme in themselves.
Yeah. We're making little tiny steps forward every time. We haven't had any setbacks. We haven't had any hurdles. I know someone's going to find a way to break our game. Everyone always does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that this thing gets done the right way. But rest assured, this is a 24-hour-a-day project. We are working nonstop, round the clock. New features are being added. Features that we never thought we'd have before. Characters are being added. I'm starting to see some character models, some new ones.
I'm not sure how much we had to scale it back, but like, man, I freaking loved it. Really wanted to get it out. The longer the time goes by, this finished product we have of a game is just going to be it's going to look innovated, right?
Finally, I'm happy to announce that we are ready to announce a release date. So, for Nintendo Switch, PS4, 5, Xbox, and PC, you can finally get your hands on AEW Fight Forever on June 29th.
Yukes scammed Tony Khan and the AEW fanbase. What do I mean by that? Well, when Yukes parted ways with 2K and the WWE franchise, AEW swooped in to acquire their services. They probably felt like they pulled off the heist of the century, and with WWE's disastrous release of 2K20, the writing was on the wall. Without Yukes, the WWE 2K series was in trouble. So, with Yukes partnering with the competition, it was exciting to see what game they would create without the corporate limitations of 2K. So, Tony Khan wrote them a check, and after 3 years where they went over budget, we got this low effort, sorry excuse for a wrestling game that doesn't come anywhere close to competing with the WWE 2K series. Matter of fact, it doesn't even compete with Matt Dickey's Wrestling Empire, and that game was developed by one person. Now, I know there are fans of this game who praise it for its fun gameplay. Like, what do you mean it has fun gameplay? The matches barely last more than 2 minutes. Who said I want a short match? And when you trigger a run animation, the character does not stop running until they hit a barrier. In 2023? You've got to be kidding me. It takes one finisher to end a match, and they have the worst pinning system I've ever witnessed. They have a terrible tag team mechanics. You can't even control both players. And they end up awkwardly rolling out of the ring. And don't get me started with the exploding barbed wire match. Their magnum opus. You literally have 120 seconds before it explodes, and you can't increase the timer. And after it explodes, the match continues like nothing happened. Are you serious? Do they even know what an exploding barbed wire match is? And if you are still convinced that this is fun, then you are probably part of the few people that have bought their scam DLCs that are not worth the price they are charging. If you love this game, good for you. But I cannot sit around and pretend that this was a good purchase. Even AEW is thinking of finding a different developer for a possible sequel. And I fully support this because Yukes left a bad first impression. They should just give it to Matt Dickey at this point. Imagine what Matt Dickey would do with millions of dollars and a full-time dedicated team. Look what he did by himself. He made a good wrestling game that has more to offer in terms of matches and even storylines. I'm not saying that Wrestling Empire is a perfect game, but he did a better job than a $1 million company that literally created the formula for making great wrestling video games. My expectations were high for this game, and Yukes made rookie mistakes. Midway at least tried with TNA Impact, which was their first licensed AAA wrestling video game. Yukes has no excuse. They've been making wrestling games since the 90s, and they have made some of the best WWE games. And this is what they think wrestling fans wanted? Short entrances? TNA made the same mistake and people didn't like it, and Yukes decided to do the same thing years later. Oh, but wait, you can control the camera angle and pyro. Wow, that's what I want. Instead of watching and creating cinematic entrances, I just want to control pyro for 5 seconds. Like, really? I mean, Wrestling Empire has full entrances, so how lazy is Yukes? And I know what people are gonna say, well, the animations were hand animated, so it was gonna take longer to animate everybody's entrances. Well, I say to you, defender of Yukes, that this is probably one of the reasons that they went over budget, because they could have used motion capture like every gaming studio does, and then use hand animation to fix or enhance the animations. Oh, and let's not even talk about their storyline mode, Road to Elite. To show you how much they didn't care, they hired one person to write this mess. And I can't blame the guy, because they hired him and gave him a short period of time to write a whole story mode with branching narratives. Like, at this point, I don't know what to say, hey? And don't get me started on the matches themselves. Like a wrestling game that doesn't have a submission match, a handicap match, a cage match, really? A tables match? A backstage brawl? Come on, Yukes. Wrestling Empire, yes, the game that was developed by one person and is free on the App Store, has all those matches and more. Sorry that I keep bringing up Matt Dickey, but come on, we need to be honest here. Yukes really scammed AEW, and they should be ashamed for releasing this trash. And I'm sure that Tony Khan is the one who pushed them to release the game so that he can try to make back the money that he was clearly losing. But it was too late. Let's also not talk about the creation suit, because I could talk all day about how embarrassing it is for a modern game to have such a limited creation suit. You know what? There's nothing new I can say that hasn't already been said by more popular YouTubers, so I'm not gonna repeat what they said. However, I'm going to talk about two things. Firstly, the Stadium Stampede mode, which, if you have been following me since day one, you'd remember that my first video that kickstarted my YouTube journey was a video about Stadium Stampede. I played it at one time when I was making my first YouTube video, and I've never played it ever since, because it's clunky, it's messy, and it gets pretty old after playing it for a short period of time. What many say to Yukes is that they should make it available offline, and they didn't do that, even though most of the people you are playing against are bots. So yeah, this mode that was supposed to save the game did not. Secondly, when the game came out and the fans saw how bare bones it is, a spokesperson for THQ Nordic and Yukes asked the fans to give them suggestions of what they would like to be added to the game. People submitted 162 suggestions, right? So let's see how many of these suggestions were added to the game. No. Yeah, they've only fulfilled about 10 of the suggestions that people wanted, and most of these additions were wrestlers that were outdated by the time they released them. They didn't add any matches or improve the gameplay that some fans claim is fun. In conclusion, Tony Khan, stop writing checks, because you will get scammed. And that's my 53 cents. Like, comment, subscribe.